Hey guys, welcome to Juicy Tea, where I read out the best stories on Reddit, so you don't have to. The funny, shocking, and satisfyingly juicy. Today, we're looking at the worst bosses from across Reddit. Boss tried to sleep with my fiancée. Our first story comes from the ProRevenge subreddit, posted by NoCat9880. This was several years ago, so my boss, an extreme type A personality, found out that I was seeing a young lady at another one of our offices. It was a long-distance relationship. He was the type that liked to control everything and mess with people for fun. He was also married to another employee, but he was very unfaithful. And he had a hobby, photography. He liked to take pictures of himself and his conquest in the act. Then, he would show the pictures around the production floor and brag about it. Wait, what? He was taking pictures of himself cheating and then sharing them around the office like a plate of homemade brownies? Look what I made over the weekend. Go on, take a few home with you. What the F? Okay. Well, on his next trip to the other office, he tried to get my girlfriend to sleep with him. But she spurned him. So he made up some lies and got her fired. How has this guy not been fired for sharing his homemade porn at work? It took a long time, but I was patient. I knew that he kept the photos in his office. He couldn't risk keeping them at home where his wife might stumble upon them. One Saturday, I was working overtime and the cleaning lady came through and unlocked his office. I came in, acting like I was taking dimensions on some drawers. The lady just asked me to close the door when I was done. She left and went down towards accounting. That's when I went through his desk. Sure enough, in the back of one drawer, I found a stack of photos 4 inches tall, and I took them all. Then, I waited until he went away on another trip. When he did, I went out for lunch. I had a dozen pictures of him in the act with 4 different women, all showing his face, and the women all had dark or red hair. His wife is a blonde. I drove to the town he lived in, to the closest post office to his house, and mailed the pictures to his wife, with no return address. She divorced him, and her lawyer took him to the cleaners. My girlfriend is now my wife, and we aren't mad anymore. I gave my 2 weeks notice and got cursed at. Posted by DannyBoy9809. I've been working at a mum and pop company in New York City for a year, earning a meager $40,000 annually. For context, this company generates over $30 million in revenue, yet offers no benefits, a toxic work environment, and no work culture. The poor warehouse workers, who are mainly Hispanic, are treated like slaves, and it pisses me off. In addition, the owners, who are pushing 80, would police the office workers from speaking our native tongue to prevent gossip. Yesterday, I finally decided to quit after landing a fully remote job offer that's more than double my current salary and includes benefits like a 401k and health insurance. I'd handed in my 2 weeks notice, but my manager had a shocking reaction. She cursed at me and accused me of using the company as a stepping stone in my career. Isn't that the usual excuse they use for a lack of financial compensation though? You'll get so much experience working here, but don't you dare use that experience to land another job. This is so effed up. You're effed for doing this to us. You're effing using us as a stepping stone in your career. Personally, what you're doing is so effed up and manipulative. I used to respect my manager, but now I'm unsure if I should stick around for the 2-week notice period. The vibe in the office has turned completely hostile, and management hasn't addressed my resignation yet. What should I do? Should I endure 2 weeks or leave immediately? I'd appreciate your advice. I actually came across another story, which I think is the perfect answer to this. Posted by Adventurous Try 5013. Literally no point in giving notice anymore. So I, 31 female Canada, have realised over the course of my career that giving notice, whether it's 2 weeks, 4 weeks, or none at all, always ends up with your managers bitter as F and unhappy with you. This isn't just for retail or hospitality. I've only ever had corporate jobs, and this has been my experience at every single company. I just recently gave my employer a 4-week notice. I did it because I liked my team leader and felt bad for the team. I assumed that my team leader and I were on good, even friendly terms, so I could work my notice period quietly with no drama. Boy, was I wrong. Literally, as soon as I declined their counter-offer, a measly $6,000 a year increase, my formerly friendly team leader became ice cold. I had no interest in staying, and she knew this as we worked in financial services and my passions lay elsewhere. So, once I got a job offer for my dream job that paid 2.5 times my current salary, I took it happily. Now my team leader expects that I'll do the same level of work, which is laughable because I was working 60 plus hours a week previously, and that's just not going to fly now that my end date is approaching. Keep in mind, by the way, I'm still doing my job, just not going above and beyond like before. And the way management is reacting, you'd think I took a poop on the company's computer. It was ultimately my mistake too, as I was stupid for giving such a long notice. I realise now, after years of going through managers switching up on me after resigning, that this idea of burning bridges is a fallacy. Employers want slaves. Whether I quit on the spot or give them 2, 4, or even 6 weeks notice, they're still pissed off at me and view me as a traitor and will use my remaining weeks to pile on a ton of work. I can second this. Don't be like me, kids. Always put yourself first. And if you think you know your colleagues, you don't. Nobody will remember all of your hard work. They'll only remember you leaving them and treat you like scum until your final day. Sincerely, someone who is very tempted to just walk out today. Lol. You know it's bad when even a Canadian is done being polite. My boss followed me on my lunch break. Posted by Lethally so. We only go into the office on Thursdays. Since I live out in the sticks, I usually run errands on my lunch break so I can get better deals on groceries and booze, etc. that I normally wouldn't get in my small town. I walked out of Target today and saw my boss's car at the back of the parking lot. You cannot miss this thing. He drives a bright yellow Kia Soul with black stripes. The guy's driving a freaking bumblebee. Anyway, I thought it was a little weird, but I also thought, maybe he needed something at Target too. Then I ran across town to get some way cheaper gas and saw him pull in through the parking lot, then leave. Okay. Next stop, the liquor store, for game night and weekend. I walked out and his car is behind the store, barely visible, but there. Dude is a recovering alcoholic, so this felt really weird. Since I was out of time, I drove back to the office, noticing that he was 2-3 cars behind me the whole way. I just sat down in my cube and he walked in 5 minutes later. Is this weird? I mean, I have a 1-hour paid lunch break and I'm allowed to leave the property and basically do whatever I want to, but still, I feel uneasy. I don't know what all this is about. Should I say something? See if he follows me next Thursday? Update. I just wanted to add a couple points for clarification. My boss is retiring. His last day with the company is December 15th. My boss is also a hardworking man. I've never known him to be unprofessional in any way. That said, there was just something about this that left me feeling very uncomfortable, and you should always go with your gut. So, I emailed his superior after hours and explained my side of the story. Before doing so, I outlined and included a tentative work from home schedule that will allow me to not be back in the office until he's gone. My proposal was accepted, and I have a Zoom meeting with my boss's boss, her boss, and a rep from HR this morning. I've been told to not engage with my boss until this meeting has taken place. The very fact that this is moving this quickly gives me pause. I begin a new position within the company January 2024, which will render me permanently remote, so I won't be required to work in the office on Thursdays if I so choose. Even though he'll be retired, there will be no chance of running into him at the office if he stops in to visit or whatever. Update 2. After my meeting, I've been advised that this is not an isolated incident. At least one other employee complained, 8 years ago, of unlawful/threatening behaviour in the workplace. I've also been advised to seek my own legal counsel if I want to press charges. I do not, but I'm contacting an attorney to look over some documents I've been asked to look over and possibly sign. The company will cooperate with me, receipts of purchases and activity during the alleged times of harassment, and will cooperate if I want video evidence. I'm being fast-tracked into my new position, and my boss is being encouraged to take an early retirement. Due to legalities that may or may not move forward, this is all I can comment on. I'm saddened at this turn of events. I've busted my butt for 12 years to get where I am in this industry. I intend to move forward with my career and life. Peace, friends. Nah, this can't be real. HR doing their job and protecting staff? Definitely fake. It's real. It finally happened to me. On my 1-year anniversary with the company last Friday, the CEO and the new director of ops said to my face, "We want slaves." Posted by I'm the One Who. I had a meeting with the CEO and the 2-month-old director of operations on Friday. The fiscal year budget meeting is this month, and I had to give them all my proposals for the board meeting this week. I'll skip that part. The takeaway is, they just wasted 8 months of my life. They vetoed all my proposals, including the one they had demanded I build from the ground up to expand the company. We'll say the meeting was at 10 AM. It was done by 10:40. I then had to sit there for 40 minutes listening to them feed off each other. You know those times when you're like, man, I wish I could be a fly on the wall for that meeting. I was that fly. They completely forgot I was there. And they spun down that rabbit hole you see and hear, not only here but everywhere. I'm talking all the stereotypes. Nobody wants to work anymore. For every 100 jobs, only 25 people can fill them. We pay workers too much money here. Workers should just show up and work. That's what we pay them for. The workers here have too many rights, too many privileges. We cater to them too much. They're spoiled. They complain about everything. They should just show up, shut up, and do their job. Who needs privacy? Who needs individuality? They're just gonna have to deal with how we want to run the place. They were taking turns in front of me, feeding off each other. I left, flabbergasted, and set my things down in my office. I went and found my boss. He wished me a 1-year happy anniversary, and I had to tell him everything that just happened. It was the first time that I ever heard this very religious man say F. Well, actually, he said, those effing Fs have no idea what the hell they're doing in this place. He's been here 30 years and has been contemplating retirement as it is. He put in for a weeks-long vacation next week, his reason being for reflection. For reference, this is a non-union mum-and-pop shop, and the owner has stated if he ever hears a whisper of a union, he'll shut the place down immediately and sell everything, so can't really go that route. I have started telling key individuals what happened, and so far, I'm hearing its rumblings going around. I guess time will tell what happens, but honestly, I don't see any positives in any scenario that I can think of. I'm at a loss as to what to do next, honestly. I've started looking for other jobs, which sucks because I love my job and my coworkers very much, especially my boss. How is it that the worst people in the world are the ones in charge of things? Once upon a time, I'd have assumed that this was a BS ragebait post, but these days, I'm honestly not so sure. Remember, I post new content every day, so subscribe for more juicy tea.